Hello again, everyone. This is Joe Henches with Beyond the Chart, and this is technical analysis of the stock market today. Today is Wednesday, July 1st. Happy July. And first of all, happy Canada Day to all my Canadian followers up there, up north. Hope you're having a wonderful day. I know it's a holiday up there. And in your honor, I've got a picture I just came across today, which is a picture of Numa Falls in Kootenay, and I'm probably not pronouncing this correctly, Kootenay National Park in British Columbia, Canada. What an absolutely gorgeous picture. All right, now we'll talk about the markets here. We're going to get into the indices like we normally do, and then we're going to take a look at Germany and China indicators. And then 5 stocks in focus tonight are the 5 most active Chinese stocks that I'm following that are over $20 a share. So we're going to start off with Melco Crown Entertainment, Vipshop, Alibaba, Baidu, and Qihoo 360. Okay, so let's start off here with the Dow Industrials. So the Dow was up 138 points today after being up slightly yesterday. So we had a little bit of a 2-day after the big drop on Monday. So what it looks like to me is that Monday, Tuesday's lows got caught into this support zone in here. Okay, I talked about this on the S&P 500 for sure. I can't remember if I talked about it on the Dow or not, but it definitely got support came in. We got a little bounce. And I think this is really, as this moved down, we got a little bounce here. And then we got from here down to here, we got about 30, well, let's take a look. I think it was about a 50% retracement. 38%. Well, actually, I went too high. Oh, I hate when that does that. And let me grab that and bring it over here, because really because this already pulled back, and so I'm retracing. It was 50%. Okay. All right. So now that we took a look at that, so that's what I thought. So this little move here, this 2-day move, is a 50% retracement of the Friday high to Tuesday low. Okay. So we'll see whether or not that's enough. We'll see whether this is going to continue down. It's going to need to continue and break this low, which is what I'm expecting it to do. Let's take a look at the S&P 500. A similar type thing. Now, it has not gotten down into this support zone, which is the March lows in here. So I'm expecting it to continue further, and we'll see whether or not it'll hold. Now, notice how the 233-day moving average is coming right in there also. The NASDAQ. The NASDAQ has done a little bit of about 38% retracement of this entire move here. And actually, when you go back to the Dow, and the point here is that it's pulled back to this trend line. Okay, so now I want to go back to the Dow for a minute. So if we talk about this entire move here from the high on the 23rd of June to the low yesterday, we've got a 38% retracement, which is exactly what the NASDAQ has retraced also. All right, take a look at the New York Composite. The New York Composite is trading down below the 233-day moving average. So we're down below the long-term trend line here, kind of like what we did back here in early March. So now the real question is going to be, do we get support and we pull back up, or are we going to continue down? Is this truly a breakdown that's occurring? And I've got this dotted line as potential support coming in at the lows back down here on March 11th. That low, that intraday low. Russell 2000, a pullback right here to the trend line again that it broke. Pretty quick, pretty substantial breakdown of what looked like, moving up to new highs and moving higher. And then all of a sudden it just like, boom, it's like pulled the rug out from underneath it. All right, let's take a look at the DAX. The German DAX is in a downtrend. We got to see whether it's going to continue. So we had a little rally today. All the markets were like, I think, grabbing a hold of the European markets and our markets, grabbing hold of a little bit of hope that maybe we're going to negotiate still with Greece or whatever, even though they defaulted yesterday. We'll see. I don't know. It just sounds like one heck of a mess, that's for sure. So the key, whether this is continuing or not, is does it take out these lows right here? on the DAX? Or is it going to come around and take out this high and break this trend line? Right now, it's been acting like it wants to come down and continue the downward trend. Shanghai Composite. This is interesting. Everybody's talking about how it's down over 20%, and I believe it is, and that's fine. But actually, I've still got this wave count in here that makes me think that we're just completing a fourth intermediate wave. You know, and so when I looked at the wave count starting from down here and wave 1, and the retracement here was very shallow. It was only 23%. And so when you look at these corrective waves, so here's corrective wave 2, all right? Then we got this strong wave 3, which was really nice. But this wave 3 did not extend. It wasn't abnormally long as a percent of wave 1, at least not to me anyway. And so what I'm talking about, this corrective waves, here's corrective wave 2, here's corrective wave 4. If this one is shallow, this one is usually deep. Well, that's what we're getting. So when you look at this wave 3, you sit back and say, well, how of wave 3, what is this correcting? It's correcting 61.8%. Fibonacci retracement, 61.8% of wave 3. And so a lot of times on these deep retracements, you expect a 50 to 61.8% retracement. Now, we'll see whether or not this is going to be enough. This looked like a reversal kind of candle in here on yesterday, and then today's action didn't carry higher. You know, pulled down, dropped down. It's not an inside bar. It kind of rallied up, tried to go, and then reversed back down. So we'll see. I've got this number 4 right here because that's what I've got as tentative. Worst case is, here's what I'm looking at. To keep my wave count accurate and to keep this wave count pushing higher and this to be a wave 4, it cannot overlap the high of wave 1, but it can continue down as low as the high of wave 1 and still be a wave 4. So that's what we're looking at. I'm expecting this to start to turn at any moment and go for one more push higher. And once it starts that move, then we'll make a projection on the wave 5, where I think wave 5 is going to end up there. Okay, that's China. Let's take a look at our indicators. Short-term trading index. We've been slowly moving higher a little bit here. The 1.29 on the 10-day, but it's not an extreme. It needs to get above this green bar to get into the extreme territory. The VIX we talked about, and boy, it exploded on Monday, which I talked about. Now we've pulled back. Looks like we pulled back to this trend line. So we'll see whether or not we continue. The moving averages, short and intermediate term, are lined up, and we'll see whether or not we continue to get some follow through here. Not unusual to get pulled back like this. These things do bounce around. They make a move up, they pull back, they come back, move up, pull back. It's just a constant type of action that you see both in the market and on the VIX. So we'll see what we just got to watch to see whether or not it continues to push higher on the VIX. The high-low index, 230 more new lows than new highs today. So we bounced up a little bit from the extreme that we had on, if I got this right, if I got that right. Wait a minute, hold on. Let me pause this. Okay, now we've got it corrected. There was 123 more new lows than new highs. I thought something didn't look quite right. Because we've gotten a 2-day bounce. Yesterday on the market, the actual points was not a big move, but we did get a move up on the net high-low. So here's where we are in terms of the kind of bounce back, and we'll see whether or not we're just bouncing up to these lows up here or where we're going. But that's the picture on that. And I think that's it for the indicators for us tonight. Let's jump in and take a look at Melco Crown Entertainment. Okay, Melco is done a very, very complex, drawn-out corrective action. This is what we call a 333 combination. Okay, so we got a W, X, Y, and then another X that, you know, you start to think, well, maybe we're going to get something, and then it fails, and then we got another A, B, C, Z. And so this looks like the bottom to me, but this point has got to hold, okay? Now, if this turns around and reverses, comes back down, takes out this low, then this move is not completed. But this is the picture I've gotten right now. What I want to see is 5 small waves start to develop as an impulse wave and break this trend line. That's what I'm looking for. And Vipshop Holdings. Now, VIP came down, and I'd been talking about this huge gap over here. Okay, huge gap, and the high on that, to close that gap, or the low of the gap actually, is 22.28, and that actually got closed on the 26th, which was last Friday, I guess, right? Yeah. And so now we've just kind of paused in here. We're still in a downtrend. I mean, we're still got short-term and intermediate-term trend down. I don't believe, and we're not getting any bullish divergence on the indicators that I took a look at. Okay, Alibaba is the next one. And Alibaba is basically the same thing as VIPs. It came down on Monday, it closed this gap right here, almost perfectly. So the high, what here, 80.85, the low, 80.80. So it overlapped it closed this gap perfectly, and we've just been hanging here. So again, same thing, short and intermediate trend. The intermediate is just right here. It's not, the 21 hasn't broken below the 55 yet, but the short-term trend is definitely down. I've still got this labeled as a impulse wave working 5 waves down. I have no reason to change it. I mean, that's the trend on Alibaba. And the next one is Baidu. Baidu also, I talked about how, before when I've reviewed this, that the 5th intermediate and 5th primary wave up are complete. It looks like a major impulse sequence has been complete on this stock, and I think we're going to be doing nothing but huge corrective action on this stock for quite a while. And it's trending down, new lows, lower highs, lower lows, stair-stepping its way down. And that's really the picture on this stock. So, the way this is rolling back over again, I would expect it's going to, head and try to break this to the downside. Let's see, and the last one we're going to take a look at is Qihoo 360. Now, Qihoo is one that I was starting to get a little bullish on this, but it could be doing the same exact thing as Baidu. Now, we've got a WXY. I mean, this looks like a nice complex corrective action, but we could get the same thing we had on Melco. I mean, this could turn into an X if this continues to pull back. So this is what I'm watching for. This could still stall out. And let me zoom in a little bit in here. Okay, if this continues to pull back down, and I would be drawing a trend line across this down in here, and so then this could be stalling out, and this could be turning into an X, and this could be turning into a much more complex corrective action even than what is going on. Now, if it continues to push higher right now, I've got labeled as if this is the end of it, and we're working a 1, 2, and working a 3. I need to see this trend line, this green trend line. I need to see that broken, because that kind of contains all of this corrective action, and if it breaks that, that would be a positive indication that it's really trying to push higher, and positive activities going on, but hasn't done it yet. So that's the picture on Qihoo 360. We'll continue to watch it. We are trading. We're starting to trade down below the 10, but again, we still get the 10 above the 21, above the 55, but the long-term trend is still trending down. So that's the picture on Qihoo 360, and that's it for tonight. So we have one more day of trading this week. Tomorrow we're open, and we get the jobs report out tomorrow morning, I believe. We're closed on Friday for the 4th of July holiday. I'll be back on Saturday with the weekend update. We'll take a look at the weekly, daily action, and actually probably take a look at the monthly charts too. So if you're watching this video anywhere else besides my website, head on over there, check out the posts. If you're not a subscriber, subscribe. It's very easy to do. Actually, just follow me. I mean, first name and email, and you're good to go. And it gives you access to the Trade Ideas page and the PDF, the 5 Essentials. And check out the education courses I've got for you on the education page. I think you'll find some real value there. So until next time, stay focused, follow your plan, and trade without fear. Have a great Thursday, Friday, everyone. And let's see, it seems like there was something else I was going to mention. I think that's it. I do want to mention that if you're watching this anywhere else besides my website, head on over to the website, check out the posts, and check out the new education courses that I've got posted on the page there. So I think you'll find those very interesting and extremely helpful. If you're not a subscriber, subscribe. It gives you access to the Trade Ideas page. And I say subscribe, you're really following me. First name and email, and you're good to go. And you get access to the PDF I've got for you, the 5 Essentials. So until next time, stay focused, follow your plan, and trade without fear. Have a great Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, actually. One more day of trading here in the United States. We're off on Friday. Things are closed. And I'll have the weekend video out and update out on Saturday. So talk to you then. Thanks for stopping in.